25010.
All right, we are on record today following the filing of a petition requesting removal yesterday, but not necessarily requesting removal ex parte. So there was no ex parte removal granted. And we've made some time this morning for the parents that have appeared to speak with each of their attorneys. The guardian ad litem has had a chance to talk with a few of the children. So we've made some progress, and I'm looking forward to any developments on the record as a result of that. Let's go through appearances first, please.
Carson Howard, lawyer, guardian ad litem.
Nastasia Thomas, counsel for the department.
Rachel Wazik, CPS investigator for the department.
Can you spell that, please?
Yes, WAWSCZYK. And Rachel is just RACHEL.
Thank you. Let's just stand there.
Katerina Dumont, attorney for respondent father Anthony Barillo, but I don't believe he's here.
Okay, we have maintained vigilance to see if he's appeared in person or by Zoom, and I have not seen him nor has Mr. Dumont.
Michael McFarland representing Ms. Witten, who has not joined us on Zoom, told she has been served.
Same goes as it relates to your client. Ms. Stang?
Alexis Stang, appearing on behalf of the respondent father, Christopher Carter. And then Christopher, can you just unmute and say your name?
Christopher Carter.
Good morning, Your Honor. Ariel Berker here on behalf of Father Mark Kamin. Mark, can you introduce yourself, please?
Mark Kamin.
Right. Okay, Ms. Stang and Ms. Berger, you've had a chance to talk with your clients, is that right?
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
Very good. Okay. Well, before we do that, Ms. Thomas, would you address process service for us so we can establish whether or not each of the parents concerned in this case, there are 4 total, have been notified?
Yes, Your Honor, if Ms. Wazik can be sworn in.
Ms. Wazik, why don't you come out to our witness? Thank you.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
If you could explore also, while you're at it, the search for other cases and Native American heritage as it was completed as well, I would appreciate it, Ms. Thomas.
Thank you. Ms. Wazik, can you please state how you are familiar with this matter?
Yes, I am the CPS investigator at DHHS, and I was assigned this case to investigate.
And did you draft the petition that's before the court today?
I did.
Okay. And as it relates to service for the parents that did not show today, well, first let me ask, did you file a proof of service with the court regarding serving this petition and notice of hearing?
Yes, last night around 6 p.m.
Okay.
I did.
And how did you, let me see here. What ways did you serve Mr. Barillo?
I spoke with him to let him know what was going on, and he provided me, well, during that conversation, he said he was uninterested in participating at all. That he thought that he had relinquished his rights back during their previous foster care case. I told him that he had not, so that he would need to be served. He provided me an email. We clarified the email multiple times that I had the right one. I provided an email to him yesterday around 3 when I received the notice of hearing. I did ask Outlook to show me it was delivered. It did say it was delivered successfully. I then texted his phone number, which is an iPhone. It showed delivered. I explained that I emailed him at that email the information we previously discussed. I told him there was a Zoom ID. I told him it was at 8:30 a.m. and to please let me know he had received it. He did not respond to me. So at 5 p.m. I called him. He forwarded my call after 2 calls. And then at 8 a.m. this morning, I called him again and he forwarded me again to voicemail. Both times I left a voicemail stating what I needed and he did not respond.
And then as it relates to Ms. Witten, can you just briefly summarize the contacts that you've had with her and whether you were able to achieve personal service and whether you have any indication of she will show today?
I saw her at her hotel room at Carlton Lodge yesterday, right after I received the notice of hearing. I provided that to her in person. She looked over it. I told her to ask me any questions. She could text me if she had questions as well. She said that she would be there via Zoom because she had the 2 kids in her care, did not have anybody to watch them. And then this morning, I tried calling her 3 times and her phone goes straight to voicemail every time. So I am under the impression she will not show.
As it relates to the other cases that involve or that these, I'm so sorry, morning brain. As it relates to other court cases involving members of this family, what efforts were made to identify those?
Okay, so are you talking about the previous foster care case or their FOC cases?
Both.
Okay, so previously Rebecca did have her children removed from her care in 2021, I believe May of 2021. They were returned to her April of 2023 with supervision from foster care still. And then officially the case closed in July of 2023. There are also a number of front of the court cases, so bear with me, but there is a front of the court case between Rebecca and Donald Atkins, and they have a child together who is Adeline.
Wait,
sorry.
Ms. Bostic, we're on YouTube, so
Yes.
we can just, if you've just confirmed that, let me ask this question. Are all the children born to Miss Witten subject to other custody orders?
Yes, except for the 2 youngest, there is not an active FOC at this time that I'm aware of. I think they were in the process, but I don't know that it's been filed.
Okay. And those are the 2 children whose father is Mr. Kamin?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And then for Native American heritage, your petition indicates that you spoke with the parents and they've all denied it. Did you also have an opportunity to review my SACWIS and determine whether those inquiries have been done in the past?
No.
Okay. Know that you did not review my SACWIS, or you did review and there were no inquiries?
Sorry, I reviewed my SACWIS, but I did not see if there had been inquiries in the past other than my conversations with them.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Your Honor, as it relates to those preliminary matters, I have no further questions for Ms. Bostic.
Thank you. The record should reflect, I do have a copy of the proof of service indicating that Mark Kamin was served by email at 3:08 yesterday. Anthony Barillo was served by email at 3:20. Rebecca Witten was personally served at the Carlton Lodge at 4 p.m. and Christopher Carter was personally served at 5:08 p.m. Yesterday. Is all that accurate and complete, Mr. Wesnick, Ms. Wesnick?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Do any of the attorneys wish to have a copy of this immediately?
No.
No, Your Honor.
No.
Would you be able to secure copies of the orders establishing parentage for the children that are concerned by this jurisdiction, please?
Yes.
Thank you, appreciate that. All right, and of course, we'll be vigilantly looking for those Native American heritage inquiries.
Yes.
Very good. All right, questions on these preliminary issues, Mr. McFarland?
Did I hear you did not ask the question of my client whether there's Native American heritage? Is that what I'm hearing?
No, they've all been asked. I just didn't look in the history to see if they've been asked previously.
You asked.
Yes.
What did you ask specifically of my client?
If they have any Native American heritage or are part of the tribe.
Did you ask them if they have any Native American heritage, any blood in their family line?
Not specifically blood, no.
Isn't that the test rather than whether they are a tribal member? It's up to the tribe to determine, right? Let me withdraw that. Will you ask my client if there's any Indian blood in her family line?
Yes. Yes.
And you'll also ask the fathers the same?
Yes.
Nothing further.
Okay, Ms. Dumont?
No questions, Your
Let's go to our attorneys online. Ms. Stang, any questions?
No, thank you.
Ms. Berger?
Not at this time, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Howard?
No, Your Honor.
I do have one I forgot to ask. There are 2 children staying with my client in the hotel. What's your intention with those two children?
If we are granted removal, which is what we asked for, then they would go to their previous foster placement, which both parents have been discussed that with them, and they have a relationship with her.
Is that local?
It's in Monroe.
And how would arrangements be made for my client to visit?
The foster care worker would develop an entire case plan regarding that, and then I believe that they are the ones that maintain visitation and work that out.
Understood. Nothing further.
Okay, thank you for your testimony. You may return to your seat. All right. Let's see. Let's go to Ms. Berger first. Ms. Berger, were you able to talk with your client about those questions? And do you have anything else that needs to be heard on the issue of potential Native American heritage, legal parentage, or process of service indicating that your client has the petition?
I did confirm all of those things with him, Your Honor. I believe there are numbers 9 through 11 in the petition. And he does agree that he does not have Native American heritage. He does have a copy of the petition that was sent to him virtually. And he is legal father of the youngest two, the twins.
Thank you. He is obviously entitled to have the entire petition read onto the record. Do you know if he wishes to have that right exercised or if he wishes to waive that?
I did not ask that, Your Honor, but I can ask that right now.
All right. How does he wish to proceed with regard to today's hearing?
Your Honor, we would be entering a plea of no contest on the petition. In addition, I believe the agency has agreed to in-home jurisdiction with my client's children. In addition, he is agreeing that if he were to vacate the home, that he would leave his children there with his father.
All right, very well. We'll let you ask him about the petition in a few minutes.
Thank you.
I'm going to go to Ms. Stang next. Anything to add on parentage, Native American heritage, or other cases?
No, other than that I did talk to my client, and he did have his parentage established. There was a case in Monroe County previously. He actually does have an active court order for parenting time, from what I understand, but that has not been being utilized due to the fact that the respondent mother has not allowed him to have that parenting time. And in addition, he's been in and out of incarceration. So that obviously is added to that. But my client does intend to take a plea of no contest and hopefully enter a case service plan so that he can start getting services and with his children again.
And I'm sorry, that cut out. And be what?
And get a case service plan so that he can start exercising parenting time and start benefiting from that case service plan.
Thank you. Do you, what would be the basis for the no contest plea?
There is criminality that is listed, so just to prevent future liability.
Future liability? It's just cutting out every once in a while, so I'm just making sure I understand what you're saying.
Yes, future potential civil liability.
All right, which paragraphs, just 7 and 8?
His paragraphs start at 34. So it would be from 37 down that the criminality existed.
Okay. Do you know, have you spoken to him about whether or not he wishes to have the petition read onto the record?
I have not, but I know that he has already had a chance to review it, so I believe that he wishes for it to be read on the record. I believe he would waive that right.
All right. Looks like we've had another cell phone join us, so I'm just going to check in with that person to make sure that's not one of our missing parents.
That should be Rebecca.
Thank you, Mr. Kamin. Good morning, this is Judge Sala, who's joining us from the Motorola Moto G Play 2024. If you could unmute and introduce yourself, please.
Hello, this is Rebecca Witten, mother of the children.
Thank you. Good morning, Ms. Witten. We have an attorney here for you, Mr. Michael McFarland. Would you like a chance to talk with him about today's proceedings?
Yes, please.
Okay, Mr. McFarland, if I could ask you to step out.
Yes, I will. If I may cut through and go back to the jury room.
Sure. I'll set you up for the breakout room. So, okay, Ms. Witten, you're gonna get an invitation to join a breakout room. And then
Okay.
once Mr. McFarland joins the meeting, he'll join you in that breakout room.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You should have that invitation now.
Oh, it went away.
Okay, check the controls on the bottom of your phone to see if you are able to join the breakout room.
No.
All right, so I'm gonna extend another invitation to you now.
Okay.
All right, very good. In the meantime, Deputy Anne, would you please swear in Mr. Christopher Carter and Mr. Mark Kamin? Your voice, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. Gentlemen, please raise your right hands. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Carter, let's start with you. Your attorney has advised that you do have a copy of the petition. Is that accurate?
Yes, that is accurate.
Very good. And that you wish to enter a plea, a no contest plea today, understanding that that would be no contest based on criminal allegations. Is that what you wish to do?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you have the right to have me read each and every one of these paragraphs onto the record today. Would you like to exercise that right, or do you want to waive it?
I'd like to waive that right.
All right, and you believe you are the legal parent in this case of Lyric and Lila, I'm sorry, L and L Witten?
Yes, correct.
Thank you. All right. Okay, Mr. Kamin, we're gonna go to you next. One moment. We've got Mr. McFarland joining us, and so I'm gonna put him into the room with his clients. Very good. Okay, Mr. Kamin, you believe you are the legal parents of K and P Witten?
It's K and P Kamin, and yes.
Okay, do you, well, what we've got listed on the petition is unfortunately not that. So if you've got copies of their birth certificates, or if we need to track those down, we can certainly do that. I would obviously want to have them known by their appropriate legal names for purposes of our petition. So if I can ask you to make sure that you chase that down or talk with your attorney about that, that would be great, so that we can make sure we have that correct in the future. Are you willing to do that?
Yes, absolutely. They have my last name.
Your Honor, Your Honor, for clarification, their last name is listed as Mr. Kamin's in both JCO4B and in the addendum.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. All right. And is it Kamin?
It's Kamin.
Kamin, thank you. All right. All right, so my understanding is that you would also like to enter a plea, which means that you would be admitting to the allegations in the petition. Is that correct?
I was told I was pleading no contest.
Right. So what that means is you don't have to come out and effectively say that, but that I would essentially take the allegations in the petition as accurate in their entirety. Do you understand that?
Yes, the petition is not accurate.
If we want to, Your Honor, we can go through, there are several things that we can admit and deny, but I have advised my client that we probably shouldn't admit some of the things because they do indicate criminality.
All right, I mean, I'm happy to allow you to talk further with him about what his options are for purposes of a no contest. Obviously, not every paragraph in here applies to him, but as it relates to his responsibilities, I generally don't differentiate between no contest on particular allegations just to try to avoid confusion for the record and for future purposes. Is there a reason, or is that what you're asking me to do? Are you asking me to deviate from that practice, or what is your position?
I can talk with him really quick and then we can reconvene.
All right. I appreciate that. And I do have a breakout room available for you, so I'll give you a chance to do that briefly. All right, so assuming these two gentlemen do end up entering pleas, let's go to you, Mr. Howitt. Would you find that that would serve the best interest of the children concerned by those pleas?
Yes, Your Honor.
Very good. And I understand you have had a chance to talk with some of the children?
Just the oldest child.
Okay. Very good. Okay. So Mr. Carter, we can proceed as it relates to the plea for your client right now, Ms. Dang, or we can wait for the other parents to get back and do the advice of rights for both at the same time. Do you have a preference?
Whatever the court prefers is fine with us.
What is your position on the request for removal of the children concerned by the petition and your client?
Yes, with regards to the removal, the kids obviously are right now in the care of the respondent mother, and I know that my client is in favor and actually prefers that the children be removed from the respondent mother's care due to his concerns.
All right. When's the last time your client saw his children?
He saw them once right before Christmas of last year, so 2024. But prior to that, it has been really 2 years.
Very good. So generally speaking, he would be offered pretty regular visitation as organized, preferably during a family team meeting following today's hearing. Is that acceptable as it relates to parenting time, if you know?
Yes, that is actually what he is hoping for, since he has not been able to see them regularly.
Ms. Thomas, is that a satisfactory position as far as the department is concerned?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Howard?
Yes, Your Honor.
Very well. Well, let's go ahead and begin the advice of rights then for Mr. Carter. Oh, here comes Ms. Berger. Okay, Ms. Berger, I can ask your client to rejoin us.
Yes, and we are wanting to proceed just on the no contest plea, Your Honor. I've explained that a little bit better to him as well.
Thank you. Okay, welcome back, Mr. Kamin. Did I get it right that time?
Yep.
Okay, so Ms. Berger informed us just before you rejoined us that you are prepared to enter the no contest plea at this point. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so as I stated before, essentially that means that I'm going to accept the allegations in the petition, but for purposes of developing your case services plan, clearly that's going to be something that you have a part in doing. So I'll just say that as well. I'm going to ask you to at least help identify some of the issues that you feel that you need support in as part of today's proceedings, regardless of what is in the petition. Does that help?
Yes.
All right, so Mr. Carter and Mr. Kamin, I'm going to go through your advice of rights at this point. Did I ask both of you if you wanted the petition read onto the record?
Yes.
You didn't ask me, but I don't. I'll waive that right.
Mr. Carter, did you wish to waive that as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, gentlemen, for confirming that. If I accept your no contest pleas, you are giving up a trial by judge or a trial by jury, the right to have the petitioner prove the allegations in the petition by a preponderance of the evidence, the right to have witnesses against you appear and testify under oath at trial, the right to cross-examine witnesses, and the right to have the court subpoena any witnesses that you believe could give testimony in your favor. Do you understand you'll be giving up or waiving the rights I've just indicated to you if you agree to enter a no contest plea today? Mr. Kamin?
Yes.
Mr. Carter?
Yes.
With regard to the consequences of your plea, or in other words, what will happen, the court will do the following. There will be continued investigation by the caseworker to see what the problems are in your family and how and whether they can be solved. The court could dismiss the case if there's no need for the court to be involved. If it appears that there's a problem that may be solved, the court can make the children temporary wards of the court, place them with mother or father or with relatives or in a foster home, and order programs for you and your children, such as counseling, drug and alcohol treatment, assessments, and parenting classes. If it appears you will not be able to provide a proper home for the children in the reasonably foreseeable future, the court could terminate your parental rights. In regard to the plea itself, the plea can also later be used as evidence in a proceeding to terminate your parental rights. Do you understand the consequences of your plea, Mr. Kamin?
Yes.
Mr. Carter?
Yes, I do.
All right, Mr. Kamin, I'm going to back up just a little bit. I already went through some of these questions with Mr. Carter, but what is your position, or if you want to defer to your attorney on this, your position as it relates to removal of the children that are your responsibility? What, in other words, what do you want to see happen with them today?
I would like my children to stay with me along with Cadence. I just got her in school, and obviously I have drug treatment, mental health. I have an appointment today at 4 o'clock. I mean, I would prefer them to stay in the home with me and my father.
All right, the position of the department, Ms. Thomas.
And I spoke with Ms. Berger on this, and we are agreeable for the in-home jurisdiction. We understand that Mr. Kamin is currently residing with his father. We believe that in-home jurisdiction, with him starting those voluntary services already, with his father present, it would adequately safeguard the children. But we would ask the court to order that if he were to leave the home, that the children would stay there. And so we are in agreement with that.
Mr. Kamin,
Yes.
do you agree with that statement as well?
Yes, I do.
All right, Mr. Howard, do you find that that would serve the best interest of all 3 children concerned by that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Very well. I just wanted to make sure I understood and you understood, and we all had it straight what was going to be happening as far as your position. All right, very good. As far as the plea goes, do you have any questions about any of the information that we've talked about so far, Mr. Kamin?
No.
Mr. Carter?
No, I do not.
All right. Okay, are either of you currently under the influence of drugs, alcohol, or anything else that could get in the way of you understanding what you're doing here this morning, Mr. Kamin?
No.
Mr. Carter?
No.
Is anyone making you enter a no contest plea, Mr. Kamin?
No.
Mr. Carter?
No.
Has anyone threatened you in order to get you to enter a no contest plea, Mr. Kamin?
No.
Mr. Carter?
No.
Outside the terms of the plea agreement, which is essentially what we've talked through this morning as it relates to where the children will be and how you're entering the plea, has anyone made any other promises to you or anything to get you to enter the plea?
No.
Thank you, gentlemen. Would you say your decision to enter a no contest plea is one you've made of your own free will, Mr. Kamin?
Yes.
Mr. Carter?
Yes.
All right, very good. As it relates to the no contest plea, the factual basis of that plea, Ms. Thomas, how would you like to approach that?
Your Honor, if the attorneys are agreeable to stipulating to the petition as a factual basis, I would like to proceed that way. However, if we need to take testimony from Ms. Vosek, I can also question her on it.
Your preference, Ms. Berger?
I'll stipulate.
Ms. Dang? I'm sorry.
We stipulate as well.
Mr. Howard, do you find that to be an acceptable way to establish the factual basis?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, very well.
I have no objection, Your Honor. We'll be asking the same in my case. What's that?
What will you be asking?
For no contest and acceptance of the petition as evidence.
Okay, all right. Let me just get back to you on that in a few minutes. Okay, Ms. Dumont, any objection?
No, no,
Very good. All right. Just for purposes of looking forward on the case services plan, which is the challenges that the court will be asking, both of you and the department will be asking, and you'll be asking of yourselves in order to create a good, safe environment for your children. Mr. Kamin, you've already kind of talked a little bit about what areas you'd like to focus on. It looks like areas of substance abuse, drug use, maybe some relationship dynamics and some mental health treatment. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Carter, it seems like you have some challenges around stable housing, transportation, income, the bond with your children, and reliable parenting. Is that about right?
Yes.
All right, well, I am taking notice of the petition and we'll evaluate that as well as we look forward to the case services plan. But I appreciate both of you letting me know that you're on board to work on those issues. Are the attorneys satisfied with the factual basis of the plea and the advice of rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. The court is as well. There's also been a preliminary statement on the position for the request for removal today, which is that Mr. Carter is in support of removal of the children from Ms. Witten, and Mr. Kamin wishes to allow 3 of the children to remain with him and his father, Mr. McFarland, by way of update.
Thank you.
And that seems uncontested by the other attorneys. Does your client have a position other than that?
On the 2 children that are with her, she does not wish to have a removal. I have not addressed the other, but I intend to do that on the record.
All right. Well, so the 3 children that are currently with Mr. Kamin, does she have any objection to them remaining there?
I did not ask her that, Your Honor. I can ask her on the record.
Okay, all right, well, we'll get to that in a moment. All right, so gentlemen, the next steps for you will be the initial disposition. So between now and when you come back to court, you'll be sitting down with the department representative or foster care caseworker and putting together the case services plan to target those areas that you need to work on. And that will create the opportunity for the court to review that on a regular basis. Now, obviously, you've heard us talk about what's going to be happening with the children moving forward. So that piece is not yet resolved today, so you're welcome to stay for that. But as it relates to the legal proceedings at this time, you're effectively finished with your active part of today's hearing. So I just wanted to let you know that. Unless there's anything else from you, Ms. Berger or Ms. Stang.
Will we be getting notice of that initial disposition date?
Yes, let me give you a date right now. How about Friday, February 28th at 10 a.m.? Does that work?
Your Honor, actually, yes, that works, 10 a.m.
10 a.m. I have 10 or 11. 10, 10:30, 11, whatever works for you.
Any of those work.
Okay, Ms. Berger, does 10 a.m. work for you on the 28th?
It does, Your Honor.
All right. Very good. And obviously, if there's anything else that you want to weigh in on as we go along, I'll trust you to let me know as it relates to the request for removal and the placement of the children. Fair?
Yes, thank you.
Very good. Okay, Mr. McFarland.
I did go over my client's rights with her. She indicates, number 1, that she does have dyslexia. She read most of the report before she fell asleep last night. But I did go over the highlights with her.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but report or petition?
I'm sorry, the petition.
I just wanted to be clear for
Yes, yes, the petition. At this point in time, she wishes to enter a no contest plea based upon possible criminality or allegations of excessive use of force against the child, positive drug screens, prostitution, all issues that could result in criminality, Your Honor. She does wish to have a removal hearing on the 2 children who are residing with her at Carlton Lodge, as she does have a shelter in Monroe County lined up which will accept children. So we'd like a hearing on that. She does not wish to have the entire petition read today. So that's our position right now. Indian heritage, I asked her, and there's no known Indian blood or heritage in her family lines.
Thank you. Well, I do have a 10 o'clock, so at this point, I'd like to take a brief recess so that I can tackle that and then come back on the record as it relates to your client and the removal hearing. Any objections or time constraints I need to be aware of from our other participants?
No, Your Honor.
We're prepared on the 10th.
Good, okay, thank you. We'll be back with you then in just a few